Yes.
Oh my god, I did that for the video. It's freezing. Hello loves. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Louis Bikeri, the OG. Oh my goodness. If you are seeing this video for the first time on your timeline, karibu sana sana. That means welcome so much. And if you are a returning subscriber, oh my goodness, I love that you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. You guys are the reason why I do what I do. I know I said this is my diary, but you know, I said in this channel we are going to do a lot of sharing, a lot of growing together. So thank you so much for being here, okay? So in today's video, because we are still on the series Studying Abroad with Louis Bikeri, I have done the first and second episode. If you haven't seen them, kindly check out on my channel and you will see how I talk about really exciting things on your journey to study abroad. And I will also link the first and second episode in the description box below, so watch that out. And in today's episode, I had promised that we are going to talk about finances, how you finance your course that you have chosen to study. In the first episode, I kind of took you guys through, find a course that you're interested in, research on the universities that are offering the course, and apply, you know. And now, as you are waiting to hear from these universities that you applied to, I want us to talk about how you actually are going to fund your course. The biggest thing that always scares students who want to study internationally is that the tuition fees abroad is very overwhelming. And if you are not prepared enough, or if you do not have the right information, you can actually find yourself getting frustrated in a foreign country and even discontinue your studies, something that you really do not want to do, especially when you want to chase dreams. So I am here for you, and I'm also going to answer some of the questions that most people have been asking me, like, can I go abroad and work and fund my studies? You know, because a lot of people have been told that abroad you can work and you earn a lot of money. So it's a lot of money when you convert it to your country's currency. But once you are living in this new country, that's the currency here. And the cost of living is totally different from where we come from. So I'm going to answer that as well. But I have one example that I really want to bring to light, like in these applications, because I am taking students through the process of applying for these courses that they need individually. But we have some people who are using study agents to apply to universities abroad, which is helpful because we have some agents who are like really genuine, and we have other agents who are like con people, like they're just conning students money. Yeah, so I'm going to give you an example that I came across Instagram the other day that actually triggered me. It triggered me because when I was doing my applications of coming here, I almost got lost in between somewhere in a way that someone actually took my 50,000 Kenya shillings, and my aggressiveness, I just had to get it back, you know. And even like a friend also lost like 300,000 Kenya shillings. I'm going to talk about that. It triggered me, like it's like the generation we are in today, nobody should lie to you, okay? We have access to technology, we have internet, we have smartphones, we have laptops. All these things that you are struggling to have someone apply for you, that you are just entrusting everything to someone, it's not acceptable. I know we have, like, I know sometimes you may need help. I know we have people who have done this before, that they are so well versed with the process that they can help you. But then, can you be informed before you just entrust someone to do this whole process for you? And on this platform, what I'm actually doing is informing you on what to expect when you are trying to start your process of studying abroad wherever you want to go. So I came across this story whereby students are facing deportation. Well, I'm not gonna call them students really, because at the moment they are not students. They have already finished their studies. The reason as to why they are facing deportation is because their documents, their study documents, were found to be fake. I don't want you to overthink, but let's get to the bottom of this story, okay?
Have their checked luggage for whatever reason, their big luggage. That's good. When we walk.
So these are 700 students from India who applied to go study in Canada. So their visas were from 2018 to 2022. So by the way, India has got a very good connected system that helps students study abroad and even offer loans for students to come and study abroad. And once they have finished, they can get jobs and pay those loans back. So that's something that we really don't have in Kenya. You know, it's so encouraging for such a country to sponsor some of those students to come here and study and, you know, get a better life. Most of these students, they went to an agent to help them find universities or colleges and apply for them, which is common. So this agent charged his fees throughout, you know, telling them, we have found a school for you. Here is the offer letter. So if a university responds to you, they're going to send you an offer letter to show that you applied to us, you want to study with us, and we are offering you a space in our university. So we have two types of letters that you expect. One is the conditional offer letter. A conditional offer letter is one that there are some things that you need to meet before you can be allowed to come study. And then we have the unconditional offer letter. Unconditional offer letter is the one that you have met all the requirements they need from you and you can come study. So this person that the students applied through the agent, this agent, produced fake offer letters for the students, like showing, this is the university and we have offered you a space to come study here. He forged those letters. And then now, like when these students saw the letters, they were very convinced this is something genuine. So the visa applications were done using these fake offer letters. They were not detected at the time, so they cheated the system. They got the visas and they flew to Canada to go start school. The funny thing is, once these students landed in Toronto, they got a call from this agent. These courses that you guys actually applied to this particular university have already been filled. You know, like when you're told that, you're like, what? I just flew across the world to come start college or uni. Like, what are you telling me that the course is filled? What am I going to do? So he gave them an option and said, you can wait for 6 months and rejoin the course in the next semester, or, you know, maybe join the next academic year, or you can go and join another college. You know what this agent did? He gave back their tuition fees. You know, like that is a point where you get convinced that, maybe this person is really genuine. So if these courses have been filled, well, we can wait for the next semester, or we can go join another college or another university. So some of the students took the advice and went, looked for other courses in other unis, and some of them took diploma courses, because they had the student visa, so they had permission to stay in Canada. They did. At the end of the academic period, that is in 2022, because if this course took 4 years, I'm assuming it was undergraduate, because postgraduate is normally 1 year full-time for international students. So they got to get work visas, some of them. And when it got to a point that they were eligible to apply for permanent residency in Canada, so all these documents, the university documents, the student visa documents, were needed by the immigration department. So they gave them out. And what happened is these documents are going through the system years later. So probably the people who handled these documents at first are not even in office anymore. So it's different people that are scrutinizing these documents, and they find the offer letters to universities were fake. So once this was detected on one person, they had to go through all the applications, and they found all the documents were fake. So this raised a lot of eyebrows, and these students were summoned, yeah? And then, they had to explain themselves. But so as much as their story was really genuine, they didn't know, still they were in the country illegally somehow. So they were given a chance for a hearing in court, I presume. And after that, they were given notices of deportation, because it's like, you are here illegally. Like, even the universities don't recognize you. Like, how are you here? How are you even planning to stay here? Just go back to your country. Dude, like at this point, I was like, I'm so done. Do you know what people go through? Like, do you know what parents go through to like put their kids through school? Like studying abroad is really expensive. Like all the process of even like getting all the documents to come study abroad, it's so expensive. Some parents may even have to sell properties for those kids, like for us kids to like even get an air ticket. And then like you want to be deported. When you're deported, you can never go back to that country. So that really, really triggered me. And that's why I was like, you need to be informed before you just go blindly entrusting all your things to someone. Yeah. And then now that brings me back to during my application process. I met this friend actually when we were, in the processes of the visa application. And he directed me to someone, and he was like, this person will help you here and there. And I tried. And that person seriously conned me 50K. But that's a story of another day. I got my 50K back. So there's this study agency in Nairobi that helps, process for students to go study abroad. It's a genuine place, to be honest, but the people who work in there, some of them are not genuine. Like they are totally ruining the name of that agency. This lady generated a fake letter from the University of Birmingham. And he showed this guy the letter from the uni, the offer letter. And she told him, actually, to secure your position, you need to pay 300,000 Kenya shillings. And then this guy, because he was like so excited, he transferred the 300,000 to this agent because, she works for a studying agency. So he trusted. So he sent this money, and the offer letter had the start dates and when he's supposed to report to uni, showing everything, really. But it was all a lie. I mean, when he found out that it was a lie, he even reached out to the university itself, and the university was like, we have no idea what that is. And he was mortified, he was confused, he was ready to like go start his journey of studying abroad when everything was fake. Like these are things I don't want you to find yourself in. All right? So let's talk about funding your course. A lot of people have been asking me, like, how do I get a scholarship? Or like, do you know anywhere where like I can get a scholarship? I'm like, of course I can direct you to the sites where you can get to apply for scholarships, but scholarships, as much, it's like there's a lot of people applying for scholarships, and for you to be chosen out of hundreds of thousands of applicants, then you have to be unique. But I'm going to talk about the types of scholarships that we have in this video, so stay tuned. But then someone was also asking, like, can they study in the UK while they're self-funded? Like, can you work and fund your studies? It's very hard. It's very difficult, because when you come to the UK as a student, you are given a student visa whereby you are allowed to work for only 20 hours a week. Yeah. So if you exceed the 20 hours of working, you're breaking the rules, and there's nothing strict like the law in the UK. So you cannot work for 20 hours and fund your studies. So that is impossible. Unless you're planning to win the lottery. Okay. So the one thing that I always advise the few people that I've tried to respond to is that create as many connections as you can. Get to know people. We have people who can willingly sponsor you in your studies, because not that they have a lot of money laying around, but some people are just good-hearted and they just want to support students who are really, really willing to like further their studies. And that means you have to like really connect with someone and explain to them. So what I'm trying to say, network, okay? Where you are, you never know who is watching, because personally, okay, my story is very unique and probably I'll get to tell it sometime. But all I'm saying is always do what you do with all your heart. You never know who is watching, and someone somewhere, probably God sent, is going to come to you. And so network as much as possible. Be respectful to people and do not have ill intentions, in whatever you do, wherever you go. So yeah. So if you have good connections with people, you never know. Someone may just be willing to sponsor your education. Trains. Okay, we gave it a moment of silence. Anyway, that's like the best mode of transport, because Britain relies on trains for transport a lot. It's very cheap, it's well connected. Although a lot of people drive, most people take trains. I take the train most of the time. So these are some of the sites that you can actually look out for scholarships. So we have the one and only Chevening. So we have the Chevening Scholarship, which is offered to students from the Commonwealth countries, and you have to check on the internet if your country belongs to Commonwealth countries or not. And the Chevening Scholarship, it has rules. They will fund all your studies and sometimes give you a stipend, something that you can spend on your rent and food and stuff. But then it's always like it's 1 year. So they book you a flight to come to the UK and a flight back. So you have like your to and fro flight ticket done at the beginning of the year. And the second thing is, you cannot stay in the UK after you finish your studies. Okay? So you get a full ride, but the biggest thing is go back home and, apply the knowledge somewhere else. Yeah, something like that. So it's kind of like there's a lot of apps, like you have to weigh what really works best for you. And that is where a lot of people kind of get stuck in making decisions, but chevening is one of them. Second type of scholarship, we have Commonwealth scholarships, and we have scholarships that are offered from universities. So this type of scholarship, I'm going to advise students who are still in uni, like work really hard, because when you finish your undergraduate, or like when you finish your bachelor's degree with a first class honors, you get a scholarship from the university that you want to study in. Okay, so stop playing and the Kenyan way of saying degree ni harambe. Degree si harambe, my friend. So if you work hard and get that first class, so you are also entitled to get a scholarship from the host university that you want to go to. But still, we also have some programs in the uni, like the university that you're interested in. You can also Google and see if they are offering any scholarships, because they always do. That is like sponsoring half your tuition fees. So for instance, if your tuition fees is like £20,000, so they pay £10,000 for you, and you have to pay the other £10,000. So you have to check that out as well. I know the people who are always looking for scholarships are those people who really can't afford them. But sometimes the funny part is some people who really get some of those scholarships are the people who are well off. So you also need something to speak for you, and those are your grades. Yeah, that's from your undergraduate. Or if it's in high school, make sure you're having good grades that God will defend you behind closed doors. Those people who are offering scholarships will just look at your grades and say, this is an excellent student. We are going to sponsor this student. So do not play when you are doing your studies. Well, hello loves. I hope you are doing okay. So I switched you to the outside again because the day looks so beautiful today. It's like sunny, and you know, the seasons have really changed, and I'm just loving the look. It's drizzling for a tiny bit, but you know, it's a little warm, so winter is gone. Some persons were asking me, like I answered it earlier, that you can't work to fund your studies, especially in the UK. And that is because I mentioned that as a student, you're allowed to work 20 hours a week. If you exceed that, you are committing a crime. And the reason as to why I'm saying it's a crime is that students don't really pay much tax, because we have a lot of taxation here. So if you are allowed to work the 20 hours, the wages are like minimum wage, so you don't pay tax. And if you go exceeding that, then they will have to tax you like a resident of the UK. So that's like one of the cons. And another thing is, when it comes to you finishing your studies, you know, you will be interested to like stay within the country and probably work or even live here. But if you begin by breaking the rule, by working more than 20 hours a week as a student, you lose that chance, because they always have the records. We have something that we call the NI number, the national insurance, that accounts for every person in the country. So they trace everything that you do. So if you do that, you are really, how can I say, compromising yourself somehow. Yeah, so, and another thing is, during the school holidays, you are actually allowed to work full-time. So that's when the uni has gone on a break, like let's say the spring break or the summer break, you are allowed to work full-time and, you know, earn more, but you get to pay tax as a normal person. So the whole point of, can I work and fund my studies, that's close to impossible. All right? I hope I answered your questions. But anyway, so I just wanted to say from the video, because I have taken time to like put this video together So now that I have, I just wanted to conclude and say all these scholarships are really available. You should check out on the universities, especially the UK. Like, what is this duck doing? It's really making a lot of noise. So anyways, universities in the UK are offering scholarships for postgraduate programs. That is either a master's or a PhD, because I have quite a number of friends who have done their masters already, and they are very much interested to do their PhDs as well. So I will link, or I will mention a few schools at the end of the video, or like a few universities that at the moment are kind of advertising and looking for students. Because, you know, most of these universities here are like really, really open to, let me say, hosting international students, because international students pay double the price that the normal or like the local students pay. So I'm gonna link them out below. If you don't know where to begin, you can actually start by looking at the schools. And when it comes to scholarships, I'm also going to leave a few links in the description box. I'm not saying those are the scholarships to apply. I'm just trying to put it out there that it is a starting point. Like, if you click the link, you can have a look at the scholarships. Just do your research and find something that really suits you as an individual, okay? So I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. I am hoping to see you again in my next episode. So kindly like the video, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications, and you know what? Share with a friend, you know, because I said this channel is all about sharing and caring and growing. So let's grow together. If this content was useful to you, share it to someone you think it will be useful to. Bye.